Hey friends, we are here with a Bible in a Minute, the chronological Gospels edition. We are in Luke chapter 1, verses 26 through 38. And so we've been coming through the life of Christ chronologically, and we are now hitting the birth of Jesus. So the text says that in the sixth month, the angel Gabriel was sent by God to a city in the Galilee called Nazareth. Now, in the sixth month of what? The calendar? No. We don't believe that's accurate. We believe that it was the sixth month of Elizabeth's pregnancy because the text has just told us that Elizabeth hid herself for 5 months, and in the sixth month, the angel Gabriel comes and speaks to Mary. So we don't believe it's the sixth month in the calendar year. We believe it is actually referring to the story it just told. Luke has just told about Elizabeth's pregnancy. So Gabriel comes to a Mary, right? Miriam is her Hebrew name, and she's a virgin. The Greek there is Parthenos, which means a marriageable maiden. So it's a young lady. We don't know her age, but she is of marriageable age, but she is a maiden. She has never she's never consummated a marriage. Well, she's currently engaged or betrothed to Joseph. And so Hebrew weddings have two parts to them: the engagement or the betrothal, where you promise to marry this person, and then the consummation, when the marriage actually takes place. But in between that time is the time where the Jewish man is buying a piece of property from his father, building a house, or, wherever they're going to live, basically preparing the home so that when they get married, they can immediately move in. And so the in-between time is where Miriam and Joseph are right now. They're engaged to be married, but they have not consummated and actually performed the wedding. So in verse 28, Gabriel says, "Greetings, favored lady. Adonai, the Lord is with you." And so in Greek, it's actually an unusual phrase. Now, Gabriel did not speak Greek to a Jewish female. So just understand that, right? He's speaking Hebrew, but this is translated into Greek by Luke. And so he's saying karito, which is a weird thing to say, right? Rejoice, be glad, greetings, be well, thrive, which you could make the case that he would have started off by saying shalom, which would have made sense, right? Peace, favored lady, or one who's highly favored. The Lord is with you, and that word "with" is meta, which means in the midst of, like the Lord is in the midst of you. And so he's not like off in his cloud, like he has recognized you are favored, you are righteous, and he is in the midst of you. Well, verse 29, she was deeply troubled by his words and wondered what kind of greeting this might be. Clearly, she had never been greeted by an angel or in this manner, so she's deeply troubled. The Greek word there means greatly agitated. She was disturbed. She's probably like, what in the world, like afraid a little bit. And so she's thinking about, she's deliberating what region, from what country this greeting is. Then the angel says, "Don't be afraid." And the word there, afraid, is phobeo, where we get phobia, right? Don't be alarmed. Don't be terrified. You have found favor. Charis is the Greek word. You found grace. You found reward with God himself. Then he says, you will become pregnant. You will give birth to a son, and you will name him Yeshua, Jesus. The Hebrew word there means Yehovah is salvation. The Yah, or God, is salvation. And so he won't be named after his father Joseph, which was the tradition of the time. Then Gabriel says he will be great. He will be called the Son of the Most High. Adonai, God, will deliver him, or give him, the throne of his forefather David. So you're going to get pregnant, you're going to have a son, this is what his name, and so his name is his mission. Yeshua, or Jesus, means salvation. Yehovah is salvation. He is saving you. He'll be great. He'll be called the Son of the Most High God. Right? God is going to give him the throne of David that has been promised. He will rule, verse 33, he'll rule over the house of Jacob forever. There will be no end to his kingdom. And so Mary asks the most logical question that she could have asked. She had not been praying for this. right? And so I'm going to make a connection in just a second. But she had not been praying for this. The angel just announced it. She says, "How can this be, since I'm a virgin?" Right? Now, this is a different phrase in this verse from the previous in verse 27, because in verse 27, Luke says that Gabriel came to a virgin, Parthenos, a marriageable maiden. When Mary refers to herself, the phrase that Luke uses is andra au ginosko. I have known not a man. So she's clearly saying, look, you know I'm engaged, I'm betrothed, right? But I have not consummated this marriage. How will I have a son since I have known not a man? Right? And that's a different phrase from verse 27. This is a logical question, right? There is a significant difference. If you go back and watch the previous video, there is a significant difference between Zechariah's question, "How will I know?" and Mary's question, "How can this be?" Like, one is from a place of doubt. How will I know that this is going to happen? Versus one is from a place of confusion, right? And Gabriel rebuked Zechariah's confusion because he had been praying for his wife. Read the text. God has heard your prayers. So Zechariah had been praying for his wife to become pregnant. And what does he do? When Gabriel tells him it's going to happen, he asks for a sign. How will I know? Well, the child was the sign, right? The pregnancy was the sign that God is going to do it. Gabriel did not rebuke Mary in her confusion because that was understandable. Virgins don't have children, right? So the question that Mary asks is an understandable question. How can this be? So the angel answered her in verse 35, "The Holy Spirit will come over you. He'll overtake you. He'll influence you. And the power of the Most High will cover you." And that word, the Greek word, means to throw a shadow or envelop in a haze of brilliancy. Therefore, the holy child born to you will be called the Son of God. Like, mind-blowing, right? Not only is a virgin going to conceive, but she's going to conceive the Son of God. Now, that phrase, "therefore," at the end of verse 35, "Therefore the holy child born to you will be called the Son of God." That one commentator says that this indicates that Jesus' holiness derives from his being conceived of the Holy Spirit. And yes, Jesus was a genuine human being, but he did not inherit the sinful nature and disposition from Adam, as all other human beings did. And so there's lots of verses that this commentator quoted: 2 Corinthians 5:21, Hebrews 4:15, 1 Peter 2:22, 1 John 3:5. And so Gabriel says this child will be called the Son of God. Then Gabriel provides another sign. He says, "You have a relative, Elizabeth, who's an old woman." Like, the Greek word there is geras, which means senility. She's senile, like she's old, way past childbearing years. And he continues saying, he said, "And everyone says she's barren. But she conceived a son and is 6 months pregnant," right? Remember this, after 6 months at the beginning of this passage. So she's 6 months pregnant at the time of this prophecy. And then Gabriel says, "For with God nothing is impossible." Now, compare that, nothing is impossible, back to Genesis 18, verses 13 through 14, where the Lord responds to Sarah, right? A woman in her old age, Elizabeth in her old age, Miriam in her young age, but a virgin. Sarah's too old to bear a child, and the response in Genesis 18 is anything too hard for the Lord? Is anything too hard for Adonai? So this is basically a continuation, a rephrasing of it, but it's basically the same thing. With God, nothing is impossible. What is Mary's response here? She says, "I am the servant of the Lord. May it happen to me as you have said. May it be to me according to your will, according to your word." And so that is an amazing response. When I was thinking about this passage, I was like, may we all have the attitude of Mary. I don't need to understand it. I don't understand what you're doing. I don't understand how you're going to do it, but I accept it. I accept that this is the word of the Lord, and I agree to it at your word. You said it's going to happen. I'm along for the ride. And I think that was a very interesting, a great way to end this passage. Is a lot of times, like when God puts us out kind of on a limb, and to do something great for God, to step out in faith, that we need to have that same mentality. May it be to me according to your word. Because the reality is, fruit doesn't grow near the safety of the trunk of the tree, right? Fruit doesn't grow at the base of the tree where it's sheltered from everything. Fruit grows out on the limb. And so spiritually, or here's a spiritual application for you. If you want to bear fruit for God, you got to go out on a limb, right? It's out there, it's exposed to the wind and the rain and all the elements, but that's where the fruit grows. So if you want to bear fruit for the Lord, you got to be willing to go out on a limb. May it be to you and to me according to his word. That is Luke 1:26 through 38. God bless.